Life is so crazy. One minute you're at your lowest point, the next minute you find yourself at your highest. But this is me. This is my story. The life of Nook Bell. Yeah, I'm gonna take y'all to my world, man. Go on YouTube, Nook Bell here, man. Checking in with y'all on this beautiful Wednesday, man. I cannot complain. This is so beautiful outside, man. Gonna hear a lot of little motorbikes, a lot of cars coming, man. You know, people outside having a good time. But this video is shot for my experience and what you need to know about Cedar Point. On this very day last year, I left the nest, left the house, and I experienced greatness for 7 months. You know, I was working at Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio. And this video is actually, you know, some memory, going down memory lanes, but also to, you know, encourage people to step out and to enjoy your life, man, you know, because this experience is so great, you know. First things first, man, like I said, I left May 2nd, 2017. Left around like 10 o'clock a.m. It was incredible, man. You know, it was cool until the first hour I got on the road, I got a ticket out of nowhere. Like, I don't understand how I got that ticket, but what happened was the cop was sitting right here, and there was a hill. You know, going down and traveling on 75, you know, going to Ohio, man, you're going to see a lot of hills back and forth and everything, right? And the speed limit changes. And that was the first time I ever drove to Ohio by myself and really recognized the speed limit changes. So it was like, it changed. I can't even remember the speed limit, but all I know was I was going up the hill. When you're going down the hill, you increase speed. He clocked me right there in the middle, man. And after that, the rest is history. You know, he told me, he was like, hey, man, I wouldn't have gave you the ticket, but you went a little bit over, blah, blah. So that's that. But after that, man, I kind of spoiled my mood, you know what I'm saying? Because I was so happy, man. I was like, man, I'm about to experience stuff, you know. And shout out to Jazzy, because Jazzy worked with me at Cedar Point too. And she actually told me about the position too. So, you know, shout out to her. And I'm going to explain, you know, a couple things that, you know, me and her, we did this summer and everything, for last summer. But, yeah, so going into, you know, the training meeting, I was a little bit upset about the ticket, but I was like, hey, man, I'm not going to let that spoil my mood. You know, it's the devil trying to just break me at the time. So that was that. And going into there, man, I met Q, you know, my homeboy that I posted a video about. I met my homeboy James. James, he real cool, man, real down-to-earth guy. And I seen a couple of my homeboys like Javon, you know, he worked there for about maybe like a good 2 days, and then he left. But man, when I tell you, dog, them guys, they were so funny, dog. Throughout that whole orientation, we was just cracking up, cracking jokes, having a good time. Shoot, a couple of them was asleep. So man, I'm telling you, it was amazing. But when I went in there, they basically, I noticed a lot of people didn't have beards and they didn't have dreadlocks. You know, now mind you, before I even went down to Cedar Point at that time in May, Jazzy took down my dreadlocks for me, and I had braids, you know, but my hair was still lengthy. So man, I seen a lot of dudes with no hair and no beard. So I'm like, dang. And then I heard the lady at the front desk. She was like, hey, look, if you guys have a beard, if it's not shaved, you will not enter Cedar Point. So have a good day. Thank you for coming out, but we're not gonna accept you anything past us. So I'm like, dang, okay. But then I noticed I've been calling, and I'll be like, hey, look, I got a full beard and everything. So I was speaking to my supervisor at the time, you know, when I got hired in for the job at the games department, and, you know, the supervisor told me, they was like, hey, look, your beard is fine because it's trimmed down neatly. And it was actually a little bit thicker than this right now, because I did trim my beard out a little bit, but it was actually thicker than that. But then they said, if it's full, you know, if you have a full beard to where it's all connected, it ain't scruffy and none of that, right? So once that happened, man, they was like, no, you're fine, you're good, we already talked about it, and blah, blah, blah. But when I'm telling you, I seen dudes' feelings get hurt when they had to cut some of their dreads off, cut their beard off. I'm talking about naked face, kid face, all that. Man, it was crazy. But going into the first day, man, it was pretty cool. You know, then we chose our apartments that we had to stay in. It's Commons, which is like, it looked like the project a little bit, and then you got Bayside. Bayside is like a little bit like the rich area, you would say. This little motorbike about to come past me, so don't mind the noise. But yeah, so going through that, man, I was in Bayside and everything. So, man, I had chose 6 and 7 rooms, 6 and 7 apartments, right? So, man, I had took like 6 or 7 apartments, man, and so happily I found one. It was 7-Eleven. It was so ironic, you know. And they said that was the dirtiest apartment, but when I walked in that boy, man, it was spotless. Like everything was placed in order and everything. Then I met all the roommates, you know. Shout out to Otis, shout out to Omar, shout out to Louie, shout out to Jerry. Man, shout out to all of them, man. They was my roommates, you know. They was real cool, down to earth, accepted me in and everything. Wasn't no problems at all. You know, and when you meet new people, man, you got to meet a whole new characters, you know what I mean? So you have to respect their living and have them respect yours as well, you know, and that's what they did. You know, it was no problems at all with neither one of them, you know. So going into the first night, you know, that's why I saw Jazzy there. Now, Jazzy, she was there April 27th. So April 27th all the way through, she been there. And, you know, she been, you know, helping her roommates out and everything. And when I walked in there, you know, the first night, she cooked a dinner for me. And, you know, we chilled out. You know, that's, she said, man, she was helpful. She's helpful, you know what I mean? So, going to the second day, I had the, like, the little orientation stuff. And when I tell you, man, it was raining so hard. But my stupid behind, I walked in there with a hoodie on, right? A hoodie on, no hat. Then I had on some shorts on, and I had on some tube socks. And under that hoodie, I had on a tank top like this. And by the way, excuse the tank top for the rip getting kind of bigger, you know what I'm saying?
Head ass.
But, man, when I tell you, dog, that next couple of days, I done caught a cold, boy. Because in Sandusky, Ohio, and in Michigan, period, Michigan and Ohio, you will have a nice, beautiful day. Like, it's hot. It's like 85 degrees outside now. Man, in Sandusky, Ohio, it'll be 85 degrees. It'll slow down to like 75. But it's so close to water to where that wind chill's going to come. And it was raining, so that was mixed temperatures. And for me, man, that was over for me. So I got sick, bro. So my first day of work, May 5th, all the way through maybe like May 8th, I was lightheaded. I couldn't stand in the sun and all of that, man. Like, I had to go home, you know, so I didn't even work that first week. And, you know, Jazz took care of me as best she could, man. I had to, you know, drink a lot of tea and build myself right back up and everything, but it wasn't working out. So once that left, I was cool. So going into, you know, June, here with this motorbike again. But going into June, man, everything was cool. I got used to the job and everything, but I've been experiencing myself going to this recreation center called the Arc. Arc is it's a recreation center, and they have a pool table in there. They have TVs in there. They have a ping pong. They have a basketball court. They have a whole lot of food, and the food it was so cheap, man. It was so good, you know. It was cheap. It was like $1 for a cheeseburger, $1 for fries, something like that. But me and my homeboy James, we actually made history there. And honestly, to really be honest, I still have people who play that game still to this day. You know, because people hit me up like, man, you coming back? You coming back? And I'm like, nah. So, man, me and James, we made this game called the N-word Pong. And I'm not gonna say the N-word on YouTube, but. And the whole point was, you know how you play regular ping pong and you hit it on the table? We sucked so bad to where we kept getting it off the table, so we were like, forget it, man, we about to just hit it all everywhere. So we hitting this little ping pong around people, near the tables, near the TVs, on the basketball court. We just kept it going. We had to hit the ball. And we made that game go history. So people still playing that game, bro. We the inventors. Yeah, so June was cool, man, and I started riding the rides and everything. Now, mind you, I ain't been to Cedar Point since my 8th grade year, graduation year, so it was pretty cool riding the rides and seeing the same rides, stuff like that when I was younger, you know. But what I did was I just had me and Jazzy, we had fun, man. You know, Jazzy, she was never really a big roller coaster fan, but when she you know, she compromised. She had fun with me and everything, so we had a good time. July hit, man. That's when I started going to these little bars and stuff. But I never drunk and I never smoked. You know, I'm staying true to what I believe in. But man, it was this little bar called Louie's. And Louie's, it was you know, it was a bar, but it was like a little small room, right? It wasn't no bigger than like a skating rink. And man, when I tell you, dog, everybody was getting lit and drunk, and it was like 2 minutes walking distance away from Cedar Point. So what happened was we went there, you know, we had fun, turned up and everything. But when I tell you, man, that was the time where the foreigners came. And when the foreigners came, bro, I'm talking about it was Jamaicans, Filipinos, Malaysians, Taiwans, Mississippi, to Europes, to Arabics. Man, every culture you could think of, you know what I mean? So that was fun, man. But then this is how the club scene really normally be, bro. Soundbar. Now, Soundbar was the club that just opened, right? And when I tell you, man, there was a competition with Louis, but that boy was bigger though. Man, when I tell you, dog, everybody had a ball, and it was so packed, bro. There was no room at all. Like, you was gonna bump into somebody walking past somebody, you know what I mean? So, but then, you know, in the games department, man, I worked the half court shop. And shout out to my boy Zephaniah. I call him Zep. But yeah, man, he was like my team leader there, man. And I seen so many people that I knew at Cedar Point from Detroit and from, you know, basketball, football teams and everything, man. It was amazing, right? And the whole point of the game was you had to basically shoot the ball at the half court shot. And if you make it, you won a ball. If you make two of them, you won 2 balls. So that was a good game and everything, man. And there's so many people I seen at that game. Like, I was walking, right? It was so funny. I was walking to the bathroom and I just left my game. All of a sudden, I turned to my left. Bro, I seen WWE superstar Seth Rollins, bro. And I had to double take. I'm like, is that Seth Rollins? And, you know, he's like, yeah, man, I'm Seth Rollins, bro. And, man, when I tell you, dude, it was an honor to meet him, dog, because I was awkward. Like, I was like, wow, like, Seth Rollins is right in front of me, my favorite superstar. And, man, when I tell you, dude, that was amazing. Some more people I met, bro. I actually met LeBron James. He came and he had like a little charity event at Cedar Point. I think he normally do that every year, but I met Mr. Jordan Sparks, J.R. Smith, LeBron James' kids.
What up, Bronny? What up, boy?
I met Usher.
What up, Usher?
Man, I met so many people there. You know, it's ridiculous. And also, you know, R.I.P. to Doughboy Rock. But I actually have a YouTube video of me, you know, doing my job, bro, and Doughboy Rock and his mom